I'd do another short video. I haven't done a lot of videos period lately, and just show you guys, like, there are certain things, like some stuff changes out, but like when I go camping, there's certain things I always take with me. On my person, I have and it doesn't have to be these brands or whatever, probably not a bad idea to have something along this line though, but I have a Casio G-Shock that I beat the hell out of, and it just keeps ticking. It has the same battery from 9 years ago, and it's about done now. I need to get a new one. A pair of leather gloves. These are my summer ones. They're uninsulated, and then the winter I switched to a chunkier pair you've seen in other videos, the more yellow ones. I actually like these more. I have a little more dexterity, but always have a pair of gloves, always a watch. Next is on my hip, a fixed blade knife. This has been the one of choice. I have a few. This is my Adventure Sworn. This was a big splurge buy. I still love this thing, and I try to use it but not destroy it because it was expensive and it's really nice. But yeah, always a good fixed blade knife with a 90-degree spine so you can strike a fire steel. So that's something that is always with me. This has literally been the one I've taken lately since I got it. I always, regardless of how I want to start a fire, I always have a fire steel or a ferrocerium rod. So I can't remember where, this one might be from Texas Bushcraft. I got it to go with this sheath with this knife, but I always have a fire steel with me. Even if I'm going to do a primitive fire, or if I'm going to do char cloth, or like an old school flint and steel, always have this on me just in case, because you never know. My Kuxa, I always have. This is the one that a friend of mine got me. This is the Uberlin, Durston Uberlin. I always have that with me. You don't need another cup to drink out of. I usually have a boiling pot, or you can drink out of about anything, but it's not a bad idea to have one. I'd always take this. My bag always has a poncho in it, a military poncho. These can be used for a quick shelter, or if it rains, you can use them. I've used them for ground cloths. This is not a military one. This is a like aftermarket, but I do have a military one. The military ones are thicker, all kinds of colors and stuff, but they work really well for multiple stuff. They're not stylish, but they do work really well for building shelters. I've slept under this one actually on the river, the Colorado River. So always have a poncho for rain, because then you don't have to worry about it. You can do rain protection and shelter in the same thing. Always have a water bottle, generally a Nalgene. I have a stainless Nalgene too. If I had somewhere that had a water source, I might bring that. It's obviously heavier, but then you can boil water in it, make coffee in it, whatever. This is just your standard Nalgene. So always have something with water in it. I always bring some kind of water. It's usually an Nalgene. I'm not minding the clouds, but it looks rainy. I keep an extra layer with me all the time. This is a merino wool long sleeve. It's not a super thick one. Smart Wool brand. I got this at Goodwill for $7, and I've talked about it in other videos, and it is like my favorite. I've done hikes with just this on in probably like 25, 26 degree weather. This thing is amazing. It doesn't take up a lot of space in the pack, because if you bring like a fleece or something, maybe for the morning when it's cooler, it takes up a lot more room, and I'm trying to go with a smaller bag. So something else I take is a fire kit. This is, the pouch is made by the Hidden Woodsman. This stays the same. I don't change anything out in here. I've done videos on what's in this fire kit. I said stays the same, no, I'm gonna be a liar. I did have a pack of these, what are these called, Sam? Where you use the sunlight and it's a magnifying glass basically, but it's a 7-power magnifying glass, but it's a thin one, so you can start fires with it. I did throw that in there, but the rest of it is the standard stuff. I have an extra ferrocerium rod. You can go watch my fire kit video and see what's in that, but every time this goes in the pack. All this stuff is in the pack every time. Possibles pouch, there's another video, it looks a lot like this one. It's in the same location, and I take the same thing in it too. The only thing that changes in this is in the winter, I usually have a couple hot hands in here, but everything else in here stays the same. So I know that if I grab this, there's certain things that I need that I'm always going to have in this pouch. And then my sit pad. This always goes too, every time. I use it sometimes next to my camp to put stuff on. I'll use it, oh, I got a tear in it. No. My might be retiring it, unfortunately, or buying a new one. So I always use this to, I've cut tinder up on it because you use the blaze orange to see. I've sat on it on the ground. I've put it in this chair to sit on. I've used it to just put my gear on to keep it off the ground. So this is a very good piece of kit to have. And then I wound 550 cord through it. I guess you could strap stuff to it if you really wanted to, or you could hook it to a bag. I have hooked it to a bag before. I hooked it to my bedroll actually through that strapping. So, and then you have extra 550 cord if you really need it, or you can take the pad out and use it for like a little backpack. I don't think it'd be very comfortable, but that's one of the selling points. But that's always with me. Some other stuff that I always have, but it does change, is some type of hatchet or axe. Like this trip I have my big axe. That stuff's the stuff that's always the same. But yeah, I'll have a hatchet, some kind of cook container, whether that be a pan or a pot or a kettle, or I usually have the kettle in addition to something because I just like to use it to make boil water. But yeah, some kind of cooking vessel to boil water, cook food. Depends on my meals. I always change that out depending on what I'm going to cook, what meal I'm going to make. So I start doing more catch and cooks, then it'll be a pan, but a lot of times it's a pot because you can nest your water bottle in it. But yeah, that's my always with me, always gear. Comment below if there's anything like that you guys maybe you bring also, or in addition to, or something I should throw in there that's always, you know, something you use. This is just over the years, it's always been stuff that I've used that's worked really well for me. So let me figure out why my dog's whining. Bye-bye.